Hey everyone, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and thank you for coming back to the channel today for this 4K review. Today we're going to be diving into the first of a set of 6 4K reviews covering the Columbia Classics Volume 2 4K collection that was just released recently in mid-October 2021. Now, I decided my first movie that I was going to review from this set is Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver. This movie is incredible. It is an all-time classic. Scorsese, De Niro. It really is, it's everything. It's everything you love about movies. It has a great story. It has great cultural significance. It has all that you want in a movie. So we're going to take a look here at the 4K disc. We'll talk about the visual quality of this 4K master. We'll cover the audio, and then we'll dive into some of the special features and the packaging that's offered here. Although if you do want a full breakdown of the entire Columbia Classics packaging, I do have an unboxing video on my channel for that. So the packaging section of this will be very, very brief. So to start, when we talk about Taxi Driver on home media, one thing you should know is that it was already mastered in 4K, and a 4K transfer was originally completed for it a few years ago for this 4K mastered Blu-ray. So this was a digibook release that Sony put out. It had some like art cards in it. It was actually a pretty cool set that I've had for a long time and has been considered the definitive version of the movie. So that 4K master, I'm assuming, was reused here for this 4K release. There was no reason to redo it. That 4K remastered Blu-ray was incredible, one of the best of all time. But you do get the addition of HDR with this release. This includes Dolby Vision HDR as well as HDR10, but either way, you're getting a great upgrade in color grading. That's really going to be the biggest difference maker between this and the previous Blu-ray release. Much like Dr. Strangelove, where that had a 4K master and then a new 4K Blu-ray in Columbia Classics, there are not a ton of huge differences between this disc and the remastered Blu-ray when it comes down to, detail. The grain structure is obviously a lot more consistent and a lot finer on 4K, which is awesome. There is a little uptick in detail, really fine details when you zoom in on a couple of screenshots. Yeah, you can make out some of the letters on a candy package in one of the convenience stores a little bit better. Things are finer around the edges. But it's such a good Blu-ray already that the biggest difference maker for me and what I was looking for was the HDR. And luckily they didn't completely redo the color timing for this one. So you'll see in the screenshots that definitely what's happened here is it's a little bit of a more natural, balanced image. You'll see in some screenshots with neon lights that on the Blu-ray, that neon was very bright and almost a little too much, and they've toned it down without losing the color and made it look a little more natural on the 4K. His green shirt, De Niro's green shirt that he wears in the movie, the blue jeans here on the bed, that stuff just looks a little bit more natural on the 4K, and honestly, I prefer it that way. You'll also notice in some other screenshots like this one that, what used to be sort of a beigey white color has now become a true white, and you really start to distinguish with a wider color gamut what is actually white, what is beige, what is gray, what is black. That all improves here on the 4K. So I'm really impressed because I wasn't sure, would, some of these discs that have been mastered already in 4K, it's really hard to notice any difference between them, especially when they're so good, like Taxi Driver. But this 4K release is another absolute banger by Sony. They just put out great 4K discs, and this is no exception. This is one of the best 4K discs that I've seen, and I was hoping for that, but I'm pleasantly surprised at how much I actually liked the upgrade. I knew it would be great based on the master, but it's a really different and new and improved experience, and this stands right up there with The Shining, with 2001, with Jaws, with other excellent 4K discs that have been transferred over from film. I always go back to those movies, things from that time period, and Taxi Driver sits right there at the top of the list and probably will make a top list of the year for 2021. Now on the audio, that's the one thing that is lacking, and I wouldn't say it's lacking in a bad way, but it is surprisingly the only one in this Columbia Classics set which didn't include a Dolby Atmos track. So they didn't redo the audio. It's the same DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 track that was available on that Blu-ray that I showed you. There's no upgrade to be had here. It's the exact same track, which does sound great, as the Blu-ray did. But it's just interesting that although all the other movies in this set received that Atmos upgrade, that Taxi Driver did not. Maybe it's a source limitation, maybe the sound mixing team, Scorsese got involved, didn't want to do that, didn't want to mess with the sound mix they had. Who knows why that happened? It could have just been a budgetary thing since they already had a 4K master done for this. Maybe they cut a little corner on the audio. I really don't know, but it is something to note that as great as the visuals are, unfortunately, you're not upgrading your audio. Did it really need to be upgraded? Maybe not, but it would have been really nice to see what Atmos could have done for this movie. So now the packaging and special features. Like I said, if you want to see all the packaging of the Columbia Classics box set, the unboxing is on my channel, but this has a nice little slipcover here. Apparently though, this is something funny, in the UK, these movies didn't come with slipcovers in the Columbia Classics. Don't know why that is, but I've heard that. But slipcover has a nice little quote on the back from The Guardian, back from when The Guardian reviewed the movie. And then on the inside, you get more of the original artwork. Flipping this open, some really nice disc art for both the 4K and the Blu-ray. And based on the disc art of that Blu-ray disc, I'm assuming it's the same as what we had before on the Blu-ray. So I don't think it's like newly mastered Blu-ray. It's the same disc and then that new 4K. Now the special features on this disc are spread across both the 4K and the Blu-ray. On the 4K disc, you get the Making Taxi Driver documentary. You get storyboard to film comparisons with an introduction by Scorsese. You get photo galleries, and you get the 20th anniversary re-release trailer. So a little bit short there. But then on the Blu-ray disc, you get a 40-minute Q&A with Scorsese, De Niro, Jodie Foster. You get a commentary with Scorsese and writer Paul Schrader, which was actually recorded by the Criterion Collection originally. You get another commentary by Paul Schrader and Professor Robert Kolker. Martin Scorsese featurette on Taxi Driver, producing Taxi Driver stories, behind the scenes stuff, location, set-based stuff, and then the theatrical trailer and a tribute to Scorsese. So there's lots going on the disc, which is good. They haven't shorted you on any of the special features, which were available on this Blu-ray set as well, and they've added a couple to the 4K. So overall, packaging great, but it is only available as part of Columbia Classics, so you can't get this as a standalone. Although I will say I think that this is the most likely one to get a standalone release. Although I say that, take that with a grain of salt, because there should be standalone releases of like Lawrence of Arabia and like Gandhi and some of the others from Volume 1, and we still haven't seen those. So until those come out, you're definitely not going to see standalones from Volume 2. So unfortunately, right now, this is the only way to get it, is part of the box set. But I do keep my fingers crossed that they don't require everyone to buy this box set, and they do release these individually, because this is a great disc. So overall, I think you guys will really enjoy Taxi Driver, and I do see it as a nice step up over the Blu-ray. It's not going to be a massive leap that maybe you see with some movies that get new 4K scans for the 4K format, considering how good the Blu-ray already was. This is a small step forward, but still a step forward, a step up, and by far the best the movie's ever looked. The color timing is perfect. The detail, grain, structure, the resolution here, the way that it looks on 4K. I think it's a perfect disc. It's a great example of what Sony can do with this format and their continued success. And I love the disc. So it's going to be probably in a top 10 list of the year for me. And it's a great way to kick off Columbia Classics, which is a good sign, hopefully, for the other 5 movies in the set. So if you do want to pick this up, like I said, right now only available in the Columbia Classics box set, but I will leave a link to that down in the description. If you use that link, that helps support my channel, so I appreciate it. Other than that, make sure you're subscribed and like this video so you can share it with others. Others will see it, and we can spread the good news about this format, this box set, and this particular 4K disc to get more people to buy in and join the community of physical media collectors. And then make sure you follow me on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. All the links are down in my description. Great way to get in touch with me, stay up to date on what's going on in my life and my collection outside of YouTube. So appreciate all the support lately. Tons of views, tons of new subscribers, really exciting stuff. And I'm really looking forward to the rest of these reviews, some of my Halloween 4K reviews, all kinds of great stuff coming to the channel. So stay tuned for all that. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe and stay healthy out there. And I will talk to you all soon.